So I don't know what it is with this administration in Canada, but it seems like they want to completely destroy our trade with every fucking nation that they interact with. Like, just recently, Saudi Arabia came out and made a statement and saying that they're going to freeze all trade with Canada because Christine Freeland decided to come out and speak about this, I don't know, Saudi Arabian blogger that has been jailed recently. And so there's this girl, what's her name? Samar Badawi, the sister of a jailed dissident blogger, Raif Badawi, who was arrested in Saudi Arabia. So these are both Saudi Arabians who were jailed because, they're speaking out against their country, right? These are not even Canadians. And the only tie that these people have to Canada is the Samar Badawi's sister recently became a Canadian citizen like last year. So since she's a new Canadian, we have to fight on her behalf, destroy our trade with Saudi Arabia, which there was like a contract a little while ago to build this armored vehicle that was worth like, I don't know, something like 10 or 11 billion dollars. Like, we're making decent money with them, and I don't agree with everything Saudi Arabia does or anything like that, but completely eradicating our trade that quickly is very stupid. It's like, if you are going to you don't like the way that they do things in their country, you slowly find a new market and you slowly move away from that market. But if you go and insult them like crazy and shit and try to interfere into their politics, then they're going to retaliate, just like what they did, because Christine Freeland is a fucking idiot. She came out and she's like very alarmed to learn that Samar Badawi, Raif Badawi's sister, has been imprisoned in Saudi Arabia. Canada stands together with the Badawi family in this difficult time. See, so they're not Canadians, right? So she has to say the Badawi family. And we continue to strongly call for the release of both Raif and Samar. So, they're so adamant to get the release of these people who are not even our own. And, the funny thing is there is another girl, what is her name? Monika Schaefer. She is currently on trial in Germany right now, and she is a Canadian citizen. She grew up in Canada her entire life. Her family immigrated to Canada in the 1950s, and she is now facing like 5 years because she released a video in Canada. They're claiming that it was released in Germany, but that doesn't even matter. That they're trying to put her away for 5 years for denying the Holocaust. But Chrystia Freeland, she doesn't come out and say anything about that, right? Nobody's going to come out and say, we need to get her out, right? There is this group in Ontario that is trying to push the government right now to get them to, push for the release, but the government has been silent about it. They would much rather virtue signal for the release of these people who are not even Canadian citizens and ignore actual Canadian citizens that are being persecuted in other countries like Germany because of their draconian anti-free speech laws. But, they're not going to say anything about that. So it's like, like I said, they're going to ruin our trade with Saudi Arabia. They've already ruined the trade with India, bringing a guy who was like an ex-Sikh terrorist who was, I think, like convicted of attempted murder and all this shit. Like, they're bringing this guy with them, taking pictures with them. Like, people get mad at Trump when he says nice things about Kim Jong-un and stuff, but this is how you deal with these foreign dictators, with these governments. You don't do what Trudeau is doing, right? You don't come out and speak out like a fucking retard, and just all they're really doing this for is virtue signaling. But look at what it's costing us, and now they're all confused, like, well, we're really confused. why Saudi Arabia acted like this, right? It's like, because you should have kept your fucking mouth shut, especially over somebody who is not even a Canadian. If they had imprisoned a Canadian citizen in Saudi Arabia, then I'd be like, cool, yeah, say something about this. But while we have people in other countries right now that are facing prison times and all this shit that are Canadian citizens, but you're not saying anything, it's like, go fuck yourself. You know, you just lost us billions of dollars with this. You know, the government is still not lowering our tax rate. So we're not competitive with America. A lot more of our jobs are going to be going down south. And people are telling the Liberals this: we need to lower the tax rate to stay competitive, but they're refusing to do it. They're like, oh, we'll get it some other way. But it's like, no, I don't know. They're trying to run our economy into the ground. This is what they're doing. The CBC is covering for them, trying to release numbers. Look at how our growth and look how good we're doing and all this stuff. It's like, no, they're probably looking at the growth at some provinces that are now conservative as opposed to liberal, because, you know, most provinces nowadays, like, they kicked out their fucking liberals, or they kicked out the NDP, and now they're more conservative. So these provinces are going to be running more efficiently, and Trudeau is going to take credit for that. And they're definitely cooking the books as well. This is why Ford is having an investigation in the Ontario government to look at their spending, to investigate it, because, you know, there's a lot of fishy shit that goes on. And, you know, right after they buy this huge pipeline, the Trans Pipeline, all this stuff that costs $4 or $5 billion, they're somehow still in the green and doing well and paying off the debt. No, they aren't. Like, they are reaching deficits each year, like 2 to 3 times higher than they said that they would be. They said they were going to pay off the debt that they're incurring right now by 2019, which is a complete lie. The way that they're spending right now, it's not going to be paid off till 2050 or later and later. They're going to keep pushing it back, right? I don't understand what they're doing. He keeps giving money to other countries overseas, still saying he doesn't have enough for veterans. They're asking too much money, but he still has $400 million to throw to this country, $100 million to throw to this, hundreds of millions to waste in climate action in other countries that they're not probably going to spend on reducing their climate impact on the environment. They're just going to waste that money on other shit. So we're just throwing away Canadian money, hard-earned taxpayer money, for absolutely nothing. And now they're even going back slightly on the carbon tax. But even that's still bullshit. Even though it's watered down, doesn't matter. It shouldn't exist to begin with. Canadians are not the problem when it comes to pollution. Okay, it's other countries. We are not the issue. We can build as many fucking pipelines and shit as we want, and it's not going to create a problem. Like, you know, there'll be a occasional spill here and there, but that already happens with the way we transport energy currently, and it's less efficient, filling up tankers and driving them different places, transporting shit across the ocean from Saudi Arabia. Maybe not anymore because of the trade dispute that the fucking Christine Freeland, I always forget her name, Chrystia Freeland, whatever, the dumb bitch, the dumb stupid whore that just sits, you know, wears her little fucking dresses and says a bunch of fucking nonsense every time she gets in front of a camera. She's no better than Trudeau. Like, Trudeau, he goes on more fucking vacations. I've never seen somebody take so many personal days. And people are going to compare that to Trump. Oh, he's always at the golf course every day, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, he's actually doing work at the golf course. He's actually doing business deals. This is where business people do a lot of deals. It's on the golf court. So he is actually doing work. He's working a lot harder. I wish I had Trump as our prime minister. He would actually do something about the border right now instead of downplaying it, saying it's not a crisis, which it is a crisis. It's, trying to legitimize it as much as they can, saying that this is legal, these are legal asylum seekers. The media is coming out backing them up, but the only way that this is legal, the only way it's legal that these people are crossing the border, is that if America is designated as an unsafe country, which nobody thinks it is, other than far leftist idiot retards who believe in the propaganda that is being fed to them by the mainstream media. So it's like, America is not a safe country. We can send these people back. And, possibly America will not want to obviously take them. I wouldn't either. But at the same time, it's like, that's bullshit just to, put the problem in on us. And I don't blame Americans or anything like this for doing it. It's the Trudeau administration who is pretty much inviting them in, inviting them over to come here. And, they're exploiting the system. Like, we don't have enough resources to take care of our own homeless people. I saw a thing from Faith Goldie the other day showing that all these homeless people sleeping under a bridge, they're actual Canadian citizens that aren't being put up in hotel rooms and dorm rooms and given like lavish luxuries and stuff. They have to sleep in tents under bridges. And this is how we take care of our own people. And we have the government lying to us saying that, oh, no, we have plenty of space. We got plenty of resources. We got to just distribute, these people around so everybody takes some of the burden. But it's like, wait, are these people a burden or are they adding to our system? Because if it's like, if it's so hard and we have to distribute them around, wouldn't there one city want them all because they're all going to be engineers and inventors and all this shit, But no, that's not the case. They know these people are going to be burdensome. They're not going to learn the language quickly. They're not going to integrate, and they're going to cost us tons of money. But once they become citizens, they will vote for the liberals. They will vote for Democrats because these are the people constantly giving them something. Like, I just saw something the other day where the federal administration is giving out like loans to immigrants, to new immigrants, right? What about us? What about Canadians who have lived here for hundreds of years, or even 50 or 30 or 40? What about them? They don't care. They think they have you, right? And this is why you can't vote for them. You gotta, you really just gotta think about what these people are and like what they're promoting, and like they have completely forsaken you. They don't care about you. They think they have you in their pocket, and don't keep making them believe that by constantly voting for them, by being afraid of being called racist and bigoted and this and that because your views do not align with liberals. And they do this on purpose. They want people to stay silent, so the vocal minority appears to be more powerful than they actually are, and they can pass things through, and everybody else is just too scared to say anything because they don't want to be yelled down by this very vocal minority that appears to be much more powerful than they actually are, appears to be much bigger than they actually are. But if we all come out and speak about this together at once in much more unison, then it would be much harder for them to shut us down little by little, censoring this person. Like, look at Faith Goldie. You have to directly donate to her bank account now, e-transfer. So I didn't think about that. That is a good option though. So at least there is still a way to give money. So support people like her. Give money. We need to keep supporting people who come out and take the risk to speak about the mismanagement of this government, how badly they are dealing with trade, how they are importing hostile cultures to us. And the conservatives right now, like, I hope Faith Goldie wins in Toronto. She desperately needs to win, because the conservatives, they're not even speaking about kicking these people out. All they're speaking about is paying for them and integrating them and all this shit. No, they need to go. They need to go back. That's what somebody should be saying. The only people that are saying this stuff is people like Faith Goldie, right? So, if you vote for anybody else, name brand conservative in Toronto instead of her, you're a fucking idiot and you don't know what you're doing. And we need more people like her to run at the federal level. And we need more people like this, and we need to always be in massive support of these people. Give money to Faith Goldie. Show her support, because a lot of us are not going to do what she's doing. And if everybody just kind of ignores it, doesn't really give anything, it's eventually going to wane. It's eventually going to die off. So you need to keep people invigorated. We need to keep supporting this, because if we stay in what Canada is right now with this administration, the way they're dealing with things, then I don't think the Conservatives right now under Andrew Scheer honestly would be a lot better than Trudeau. Probably better to some extent. Maybe he wouldn't implement this current carbon tax, but the Harper administration they were still trying to comply. They were going to have like a 20% tax and all this shit, and people are still mad about this. Like, it's still not high enough. It's not going to curb people's consumption. But it's like, no, we just need to scrap it completely. But no Conservatives in Canada have the balls to say any of this shit. And I don't blame them, because there's so many Canadians who are silent, who don't voice their actual opinions, because, there is that whole propaganda about how nice we are, and, we want to be seen as good and accepting people, but really we need to put our foot down and tell people what is really fucking up and kick these freeloaders out of our country. But that's all I pretty much had to say. If you like my content, subscribe and have a good day. See ya.